guys, in this video I'm going to talk about abortion, and I think it's important to have both a scientific and spiritual understanding when approaching this topic. So first I'm going to talk about what abortion is and when it's medically. Abortion is terminating a pregnancy either by medications or surgeries. So in some instances this is going to be medically necessary. For example, if the sperm and the egg, which forms a zygote, if it's stored or implanted in a place that won't allow for a viable baby. For example, this most commonly happens in the fallopian tubes, and when this happens, if the zygote enlarges, it can impede or impact on the neighboring organs of the pregnant lady and cause blood loss or some problems in those areas. Also, it's very unlikely that the fetus will survive in this. Common reasons an abortion is necessary. And I don't think any political or moral laws of the state are going to override the doctor's choice to do what's right for the pregnant lady in those cases. Those are some cases when abortions are medically necessary. So when are abortions not medically necessary? Well, that's when we get more into this pro-life versus pro-choice arguments. First, the pro-choice is that it's woman's body. They can choose what to do with their body. If they want to keep the pregnancy, they can keep it. If they don't want to keep the pregnancy, they can end it. First, the pro-life choice is more of a spiritual understanding that once the zygote forms, it is a child. It's a child of God, and it's part of God's plan to bring this child to the world. And at that point, it's not right for a human to enter. Many of the pro-life arguments say that killing the baby or killing the fetus is a form of murder. Psychiatrist, if I had a patient in my office who was trying to decide whether or not to abort the baby, it's important for me not to impose my opinions or beliefs onto them, but rather I summarize or reflect what they're saying to me so they can make the best decision for what they're going through. However, I think that it's important to keep in mind that there's so much in play that has to go correctly in order to have a healthy pregnancy. For example, there has to be fertile sperm from the male, there has to be fertile eggs from the female, there has to be a healthy reproductive tract in the female for the baby to grow, and there's a lot that goes on physiologically that we just don't have control over, and that should be considered when making a decision like this. Together this video, I didn't want to impose my religious or spiritual beliefs onto those watching it. At the same time, I didn't want to say it's okay that people can abort if it's a matter of rape or incest or something like that. And so one person that came to mind that may be good to apply in this situation was the prophet Moses. He was of the Israelite blood, and no Israelites at the time, no Israelite boys were allowed to live because the king of Egypt, Pharaoh, saw it as a threat to his kingdom, his reign, and so he wanted to kill off all the Israelite boys. So his parents saw that Moses, when he was born, he was beautiful and didn't want him to die. So they actually put him up sort of as an orphan, and he was adopted by the Egyptian people, Egyptian royalty even, and he was raised in the Egyptian palace. Not only is Moses' story a good example of what could happen if someone is put up to adoption, but also later on in his life, he actually killed another Egyptian. And afterwards, he sort of changed his ways, he repented, he went in solitude for several years, and then he developed this really close relationship with God and became one of God's most prominent prophets, led the Israelites out of Egypt. This is a good example. If someone did go through an abortion and did kill an innocent child, that God can forgive, he has the power to forgive, and us humans also should forgive. That's basically a nutshell of abortion, some medical and spiritual aspects of it. Please like and subscribe or send comments. Just let me know what sort of videos you guys would like to see.